Hello, everybody. Welcome back to BrokeN Boys. It's episode 179. I am Mike.
And I am Colin.
And yeah, we're gonna talk some stuff. Talk about weeks, talk about albums, spin some wheels, have
Sure.
gobs of fun. Um,
So true.
Colin's holding a severed head over there.
Yep.
Yep. And his name has also been changed to Billy Joel Armstrong.
Yes, very true.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm just creating the wheel of names because
Oh.
forgot to do so.
That was your cue, I guess, when I said that. But yeah, all good. Do you want to talk about your week while you're doing that, or should I go first? Or
You can go first. How was your week, Mike?
all right, my week was fine. Thank you for asking. Um, Earlier this week, last Saturday, so the day after we filmed the pod, I went to see Deadpool and Wolverine with a couple of my neighbors. We went at a very late showing because they're very much night owls. So I think both times I've gone to a movie with them recently, we've gotten out like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. So it was an 11 o'clock showing. So yeah, it was late, but it was a still pretty packed theater. It was a good theater. I'm not sure if I've ever been to a Marvel release where there's you got like the hype fans there still or whatever, the true Marvel experience of watching Tobey Maguire come through a portal, right?
Yes.
And hearing the audience scream. But there was a couple moments in the movie that made that kind of nice. It wasn't like too much. It wasn't too much. It was a really nice amount. Movie itself is pretty good though. It was slightly Marvel-y, but it was also very Deadpool-y. There was a couple really good jokes in there that I'm probably some of my favorite jokes within the whole series. That I'm probably gonna think about every time I think about this movie. So, um, yeah, it was good. I liked it. I think Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman did really good, funny. I just wish the plot was maybe a little more interesting, but still some good stuff going on in there. Really, really good action. Yeah, so I did that, and then the rest of this week was spent. I was helping out with the marching band. We were doing our 8-hour days this week, Monday through Friday, 1 to 9. So had got to do that. I don't know why I started out with had. I do enjoy doing that. In fact, the kids are still doing it next week. But with a different person, because I didn't get signed on for 2 weeks because I think our director didn't want to hire two people for 2 weeks. So I'm a little sad about that because some of the kids there who are seniors now, I knew when they were sophomores, and it's kind of sad losing some of them. Um, but is what it is. That's life. They got to grow and
Just
stuff.
show up anywhere. Fuck them.
What you say?
Just show up anyway. Fuck them.
Oh, show up, yeah. Not get paid. Yeah,
Uh,
Screw the system.
Extort. Yeah.
I'll show you.
Kill the other guy. You show up instead.
Girl.
You kill the other person.
And then it's misogynistic. But
It's not.
hmm?
Not because she's a woman. It's just because you want.
It's just because she's in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but it was good though. I think they're doing well. There was there was a freshman who came in for the first time today, and they already have like half the show on the field. They're moving pretty fast this year. So I had to really help her, just like, all right, they're going fast. They will break it down again at some point, but for now we're just doing our best. So that's what a lot of my time was. But it was a good time. I think I don't remember if I mentioned this on pod, but I definitely mentioned it when we were in person. But I find it kind of ironic that throughout like these last couple years, you've decided that you don't want to be a teacher, and then I've decided, not decided, but the thought has been more welcoming to me that maybe I could do teaching for
Yeah.
like band stuff. Um, that's still like just kind of a thought right now. I don't know if that's something I'll pursue. But I do enjoy doing that. I enjoy working with them. They're a good group of kids. And yesterday, this is like the only like story I'll tell. Well, story, quote unquote. Um, yesterday we went outside early because it was going to rain later in the evening, so we were out there doing drill and basics for like 4 hours in the mark heat of the day.
Yes.
And I didn't know that was going to happen beforehand, and my sunscreen had just run out that day. um,
Ooh.
so I got got pretty sunburned yesterday, and I got a pretty. I had my sunglasses on the whole time, so I got a sunglass tan. Um,
Ooh.
yep, I look a little goofy. And I told the kids when we came back from dinner or whatever, I was like, use me as a walking sunscreen advertisement. Please, please put on sunscreen, especially for my fellow pale friends.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it was good though. It was a good time. I don't remember if I said, but they're doing like a little like ice cream social thing next Friday, and I'm gonna try and show up to that and see if I can say some goodbyes to some more seniors or just see how they did throughout the week and all that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but that's pretty much what I did this week. I didn't listen to any new music. But let me just double check. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty much what my week was. So,
Cool.
how was yours?
It was okay. Pretty uneventful for the most part. Don't think I did much of anything last weekend other than work and hang out. Me and Max have continued to watch The Boys.
Nice.
We've been enjoying that. We just started season 3, and uh, in the second season, um, spoilers for season 2 of The Boys, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, when Becca shows up
Mm.
for more of the season, uh, she was like, Max was liking Becca and like, oh, this is so nice to see Butcher a good and happy person. And she was like, she was like, they wouldn't kill Becca, would they? They're not gonna kill Becca. And he said, why would they give Butcher Becca and then take her away? That'd be fucked up.
Last of Us Part Two all over again.
Right, yeah. And then it happened, and she was like, you told me she was gonna die. I said, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said it would be fucked up if they did.
And it
And
was.
it was. But she was right when Stormfront showed up. She was not a fan.
Mm.
Um, and I was like, just wait.
Yeah, it's
Just
better than
wait.
being a fan of her and then being like, oh.
That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been good. That was only my second time watching that season because if you'll remember, I did not watch season 2, and before
That's
season
right.
3, I just
Yeah.
watched the recap. But then last year, I was watching through the series with my mom, so I watched season 2 for the first time there.
I didn't know
Um,
you watched it with your mom. That's
yeah, it's an interesting watch with a parent, yes, but
yeah.
it could be worse. It's good though. I'm liking it, of course. She's liking it. I'm glad she's liking it.
Nice.
But yeah, just been playing Fortnite. I'm very close to maxing out my first battle pass. I almost have all of the things you can get within the battle pass for the
Dang.
first time. Pretty crazy. And next season's a Marvel season, so
Uh-oh.
that's gonna be the next one. But it's been good. I listened to I listened to Smile by Porter Robinson,
Ooh.
and I finally listened to Saviors by Green Day.
Oh,
Um,
I forgot that came out.
sure, yeah, it sure did. I've also been watching the Olympics. That's been good. Last time those were on in a few years, like the year we started the pod, Can you believe that?
Yeah, that's
Um,
true. I didn't even think about that.
the I enjoyed watching those, and I've been enjoying watching it again. I'm not a sports person really, but I don't know. There's something about watching the Olympics that makes me gets me excited.
Yeah, just
Um,
watching people at the top of human performance.
yeah,
Yeah.
serious. Like fucking Simone Biles and the gymnastics, fucking
Mm,
crazy, dude. The way that people just like flip in the air
yeah.
with that shit is insane. Um, got to see a couple gold medal performances from them, and I watched a couple rounds of archery, and that was pretty
Oh,
cool.
yeah, that sounds nice.
Uh, yeah, there was I think it was Azerbaijan
Mm.
versus someone from like Taipei, like Chinese Taipei or something like that.
Well,
Um,
Taiwan, Colin. Let's not do that.
that's how they introduced them. It was like Chinese Taipei is what they
Oh, okay.
announced. Um, but the Azerbaijani woman was pregnant, and I was like, "Oh,
Oh, okay.
I didn't know you could be pregnant while doing the Olympics." I mean, I guess it's just archery, so you're standing in one place, but
Yeah, it probably limits the
oh,
sports you can do.
for sure. But she was good. It was cool to watch. The opening ceremony was interesting. Lots of discourse around that one
Yeah, I was
throughout
seeing a
the week.
lot of clips on TikTok of Gojira and the headless woman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, the Marie Antoinette.
Yeah.
But there was that, and then people thought that they were making fun of the Last Supper painting,
Mm.
um, even though it was supposed to be an homage to the like a Greek painting, like Dionysus painting or something
Mm.
like that, because the Olympics are Greek, but and people upset over drag queens performing within it and everything, but
Mm.
yeah, just love it.
Yep.
But Olympics are cool. I like watching the Olympics. Max and I went to go see Deadpool Wolverine last night,
Oh.
and that was good. I liked that a lot. It wasn't nearly as egregious with the cameos as I was expecting it to be, which I'm thankful for.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would have appreciated a couple more, maybe, but like, I'm okay with the ones we got.
Yeah.
I think I think that it relies heavily on having some knowledge or experience with like the Fox Marvel movies, um, especially
Maybe
when
a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, like when those cameos come around, or like especially when that one comes along in the guy with the cards, that
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
Uh, that one kind of relies on having some knowledge of like movies that were meant to be made that never got made. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay.
I honestly had no idea who the hell that was throughout it. Like I
Well,
do,
he's
I
an
do,
actor.
I do the actor, but I didn't know. I thought it was mostly the actor that was supposed to be that. I learned about that afterwards. The whole
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah.
yeah. He played an X-Man. He was supposed to get his own movie for the longest time, and that never just came to fruition. So a lot of the jokes of his character were based upon that fact. But it was good. Lots of cool homages to Logan. The I liked it a lot. I think it's probably my favorite of the three. I have a bad habit of saying, when the newest one comes out, I'm like, oh, that one's my favorite.
Yeah.
Um, but I genuinely think it might be, just because I think that Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds are perfect on screen together,
There were
and
yeah.
yeah, it's just I liked it a lot, and I would love to watch it again. But it was a good time. I had a good time with it. Um, but otherwise, I think that's about it. You know,
Yeah.
just hanging out.
Just hanging around.
Just hanging out.
Yeah. Cool. Well, and there was a couple music releases, like singles and stuff.
Mhm.
First, there was another single from Magdalena Bay called Tunnel Vision, and man, I'm telling you, it's a really strong 3 for 3 right now. I think think their album comes out in a couple weeks from today. And I am really thinking this could be album of the year worthy. So
Ooh.
I'm really excited for it. But
Uh,
shout out to that. And then yesterday we also got, I think it was a surprise drop. It was a Charlie XCX song featuring Billie Eilish called Guess. Guess was on the deluxe version of Bratz, which I don't think I listened. I don't think I still have listened to that original version in full, but I listened to the Billy remix, and it's good. I like it quite a bit. I think they work pretty well together. I'm not sure if Billy 100% matches with like the energy, like, but she doesn't like not match. She's like
no.
70% there or so, I would say. Um, but it's still really good though. Production goes off, and you know the it's just catchy and raunchy a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, a little gay too, and non-derogatory. Uh,
No.
but yeah, I'm guessing you listened to it too from that comment.
Yeah, I did. I think Charlie teased it like the day before or
Mm,
something with like a picture, and it was like, guess who? And then people were like, that's Billy, just by like the rings on her hand. Um, and I was like, okay, cool. And then it came out, and I was like, ooh, I enjoy it. I don't like you said. I don't think that Billy super matches the vibe, but she doesn't stick out like a sore thumb at all. I think
yeah,
it's Billy, and it's her verse is very gay.
yeah.
It's okay. I love it.
It's gay, and that's okay.
It is.
Yeah.
I saw somebody on Twitter today. They were like, well, it was like it was like a TikTok that somebody screenshotted where it was like, I think I liked it. Hold on, I'll read it off because Phineas responded to it and was like
Mm.
getting up angry at
He
idiots
was getting
online.
angry. Uh-oh.
Yes. Oh, did I get deleted? No, here it is. Somebody said Billy's verse on Guess is high key predatory, but y'all blinded by her usual queer baiting for commercial gain.
Mm.
Ever since the Lost Cause controversy, she's been reducing girls to mere objects, all in an effort to convince the masses that she's actually into them. Lol. Charlie is 32 and engaged, FYI.
Twitter post, yeah.
Yes. And then Phineas said, what a take, you little clown. I got to watch the entire internet slam my sister for queer baiting for an entire year when in reality you were all forcing her to label and out herself.
Yeah.
Uh, so, just idiots online, of course. But
That's always been
uh,
something I've felt when there's been the queer bait, like when people accuse someone of queer baiting, it's like, how do you know they're not queer, and why are you trying to out them if that's the case? Because I think people do that to Harry Styles a lot too, and it's just like, you know, just let him do what he does. It's whatever. It's not. I
yeah,
don't know.
men can be comfortable with their sexuality, as can women, or anybody for that matter. But like, fucking, if somebody's acting in a way that can be seen as queer and you're trying to make them come out of the closet when they're not ready to, pretty fucked.
Yeah.
um, I hate people, but good feature, I
Yeah.
liked that.
Yes. Yeah. There was
um,
also. Oh, sorry. Were you gonna say?
no, you're good. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say there was a drop from JPEG Mafia a couple days ago. Um, I didn't listen to it, but it has good reviews right now. So I may listen to it. I still have to check out a lot of his discography. Maybe add him to the wheel. I don't know. But
Yep.
yeah, maybe not for tonight. But yeah, it dropped. Actually, it has the same score as "Scaring the Hose" right now, which is pretty
Oh
high.
well.
But we'll see. But that came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw something about that. Somebody like wrote a review on album of the year or something. That like it was something like some white dude
White
in
man
the middle of
approved. Oh, sorry.
like like what kind of like that like white like a white this album would make a white dude in the middle of Barnes and Noble wearing some shirt dropped to his knees or something like
Yeah.
that. I was like, all right, I might have to check that.
Yeah,
So,
I think there's a big meme of a lot of JPEG Mafia listeners are very white and suburban.
yeah,
um,
it's a strange crossover
yeah,
considering the other music news. Fucking there's a new Hosier EP coming soon. From
ooh,
what he's been releasing, he played a new song at La La last night. Um, Chapel, fucking, I don't know if you saw videos of her set at La La yesterday, but the crowd was insane.
I was
Um,
seeing. I think I saw just one clip of like basically everyone in that huge ass crowd doing the hot to go thing. I think that's all.
yeah,
I think that's all that I saw from it, but that was still
just
crazy.
it's just a sea of people. I don't understand. Like after Tyler the Creator dropped out, I feel like Chaperone should have been upgraded to a headliner because like the crowd that she brought just to that show
Yeah.
for being not not even a headliner is insane. Um, she had a cool little like luchador outfit going.
Nice.
Uh, but yeah, she's killing it. Love
Yeah,
to see
I
it.
really need to listen to that album because
You do.
I'm kind of behind the time. I mean, I think I've heard a lot of the big choruses at least, but
Oh, for sure.
I'm behind the times right now. I'm an old
Yes.
man withering into the depths. Yeah.
And another music news to do with my profile picture for the week. I wrote down notoriously liberal and anti-Trump band Green Day makes waves by being anti-Trump. Uh,
Not my Green Day.
I know.
The American idiots are the liberals.
It's just yeah. They at the show, Billy Joe Armstrong.
I do that like
Yeah,
every single time.
he grabbed a Trump mask out of the crowd that had "idiot" written across the forehead and held it up. And the Republicans of America were not very happy this week,
Oh,
even though they've done this many times
yeah,
over many years. They did the not a part of a MAGA agenda during American Idiot again as well, and the first time they were upset, but this time I think they crossed the line.
yeah,
Um, but just it's always very silly when somebody, especially a band like Green Day, does what they've been doing for years, and then they just catch flack from the same people over and over and over again
yeah. It
for the
ha
same thing.
it happens to like Rage Against the Machine a lot too. I know
Oh,
a bunch of people who listened to it in college who have turned conservative over the years. Just like, oh, they don't stand for what they used to anymore. Yeah,
yeah. I a couple years ago, I remember seeing somebody on Twitter or Facebook or something saying that Rage Against the Machine went woke, and it's like,
yeah.
uh,
Because I think they were like, I think I don't know if they were like playing shows, but something about their brand was like vocal during like the masks and the vaxing eras about supporting having masks and vaxes, and I think that's where that came from. Yeah,
yeah, but that was silly to me. I think that's what kind of drove me to listen to Saviors this week. Is like, oh, Green Day.
yeah.
I should listen to that. It's been long enough. Um, do you have any other music news?
Uh, Not like music news. No.
Okay. Uh, well, in news, Trump continues to embarrass himself.
Oh.
He was invited to speak at the National Black Journalists Association convention in Chicago um, on Tuesday. I want to say maybe Wednesday, and wow, it was rough.
I can
His
imagine.
team made the event cut made the journalists cut the event short because he was embarrassing himself. Um, he the first question he was asked was pretty rough, pretty a hard question. Um, but he, instead of answering it, of course, he went, first off, that was very rude. I've never had somebody ask me a question in such a horrible manner.
Do you remember what
You didn't even,
the question was?
it was something about, um, it was either about the whole shtick that Republicans are using for Kamala being a DEI hire,
Oh yeah.
or it was about just like um, brutality. Maybe it was something. It was like a hard question.
Okay.
But like he dodged the question and got upset at the way that it was asked, and also he was like, well, you guys didn't even say hello or how are you, you just went right in, and also you were 30 minutes late. um Even though he was the one that like held up the conference because he was upset that there was going to be like a live fact checker.
Mm.
um so he's the one that held it up. And then he said something about he he was like, I didn't even know Kamala was the way he says it, Kamala. I didn't even know she was black until a number of years ago. She was always Indian. She
My
never
God.
she never identified as, she all of a sudden turned black. Um,
Jesus.
um,
Wow.
this is in a room full of black people at a black journalist event in
Woo!
Chicago.
Oh,
Uh,
surprised there wasn't a second shooting.
right? Uh, but like the audience was laughing at him, booing him, cheering at the people who were interviewing him. There was like one Trump supporter in the crowd, and you could, when he came out came out, there was only one person clapping in the crowd. Hilarious. But it's just awesome. It's just really good to see him fucking stumbling and making a fool of himself.
More than usual.
More than
Yeah.
usual. Uh, After Biden dropped out, it's become a whole. The spotlight's on him for being the old man, going senile at this point, and I love it. I'm loving
Yeah.
it. But
Ba-da-ba-ba. Yeah.
yes. But Kamala is doing great. She's doing awesome in the polls. Her approval rating is crazy. Um, she's she's the she's supposed to be announcing her VP soon,
Okay.
and she had a rally in I forget where it was, but Megan the Stallion was there, Quavo was there.
Interesting.
Um, Megan the Stallion did a whole little like concert before Kamala came out, and Trump he's been dodging um, debating Kamala because he's scared,
Hmm.
and she's like, Kamala was like, hey, if you got something to say it to my face.
Say it to my face. Yeah.
Yeah. But she filled a whole stadium, or like at a school, she filled a whole stadium, and the crowd was insanely loud. Everyone was super excited. It's just, she's looking good, and I'm very hopeful for the future,
Yeah.
which is something I haven't been able to say in a long time.
Hmm.
So, uh, it's been good. Um,
I don't know. I think I may still want to vote for the guy who wants to fight against having a fact checker. I
yeah,
think that's a guy who really has his priorities straight in life.
yeah.
Definitely
The,
is not brainwashing at all.
the felon and the couch fucker.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
That
know if you
sounds like a
saw
weird children's book. Yeah. Um,
that. I don't know if you saw that. I know it was debunked, but there was a whole rumor that JD Vance fucked a couch a couple weeks ago.
no, I did not see anything about that. I
Yeah,
honestly, I think being off of Twitter, I miss out on things like that, but also I don't have to deal with the discourse of that. So.
that's true. That's but it's just very funny. JD Vance is the like worst the worst. But he's also just like he has
The
no.
worst, the worst. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just nobody likes him. He's terrible at public speaking. He can't do anything right, and it's very funny that they picked him. But
Yeah.
he does say Kamala's name right, which is a nice juxtaposition to
Yeah.
Trump.
It's progress. Progress in the Conservative
Yeah,
Party. Yeah.
it's something. Um, but yeah, it's just it's exciting. I'm excited. The in light of the Olympics, there was a boxing event last night. A woman, one of the matches at least was a women's match, which with a woman from Algeria and a woman from Italy. Um, have you heard anything about this at all?
Is this the one? Did you see like the Logan Paul tweet? Is this?
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw.
this.
I only know I only know about this through the Logan Paul response to it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
you know
the
me,
woman
low
from
gang for life. Sorry.
yes, I know. The woman from Algeria hit the athlete from Italy very hard and caused the Italian athlete to quit within 46 seconds
Oh
because
damn.
she was hit so hard. Um, you know,
Is that like? I guess I don't know how that works. Is that like against the rules, or is
no,
that like just she was that much better?
she was better, like a
Okay.
lot better. Um, but then there was a whole fucking there was a whole just avalanche of people stating that the woman from Algeria was a biological man and
Yeah.
that she's a trans woman and she shouldn't be allowed to compete because she's biologically a man when this is a person who is a biological female and has identified as female her entire life. She's also from a country where being trans is a crime
Yeah.
and you can't transition and
I don't think you would find many countries in Africa that would be accepting of that.
no.
Yeah.
And just like how you think a country like Algeria would put forward a trans athlete
Yeah.
to represent their country? What
Definitely
the
not.
fuck? And then Logan Paul's dumb ass, he fucking decided to go on Twitter and join the discourse and be like, "Well, this is a biological male beating up a woman, and this shouldn't be allowed." Uh, and then people got on his ass and started saying, "This is false. You're spreading misinformation. Don't be a fucking idiot." And then his response to that, here, let me pull up the tweet.
Oh, I don't think I saw the response tweet. I only saw
Yes,
the initial
uh,
one.
yes, uh, the initial one said, "This is the purest form of evil unfolding right before our eyes. A man was allowed to beat up a woman on a global stage, crushing her life stream while fighting for her deceased father. This delusion must end." And then
Whew.
his response was, "Oopsies,
Like,
I might be
actually,
guilty."
is that actually what he
Yeah,
said? Oh man.
literally two exclamation mark emojis, oopsies, all in caps, and then two more exclamation mark emojis. "I might be guilty of spreading misinformation along with the entirety of this app. Although she's been previously disqualified for failing a gender test, in quotes, and has XY chromosomes, some sources say Emain Khalif was born a biological woman. I stand by my sentiment that biological men should not compete against biological women in any sport. If you disagree, you're a sick fuck." Um,
Hmm.
and then he
Well,
posted.
oh, sorry.
he had a he had a picture of a thing he found online. Um, that says, "Why was Emain Khalif disqualified from world championships?" And then Emain Khalif was disqualified because gender eligibility tests revealed XY chromosomes, leading to concerns about compliance with female category standards. And then there was it's not there anymore, but there was one of the community notes that said, "This is false."
This is false. Yeah.
And then another tweet, there was a poll that said, "Is my opinion that men shouldn't be allowed to compete against women transphobic?" and it was 66% no and 34% yes. But people have been dunking on him all day, talking about the fact that he filmed a dead body in the forest and laughed about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of people hoping that he is also found in a forest. uh,
Man, yeah.
but yeah, it's making a lot of WWE fans angry as well because you know uh, there's a wrestler goes by the name of Sami Zayn, who he's pro-Palestine, but he can't be outspoken about it because it's controversial.
Right.
Um, but Logan Paul is allowed to go out and say shit like that
Oh yeah.
without any sort of repercussion. Um, and this is the United States champion in WWE right now, and he's just allowed to go out and spread transphobic and misleading information about a person that is a biological female who is just better at the sport than the Italian woman that she was competing against. Maybe it was pretty upsetting last night
No.
reading all that shit.
There's
Um,
there has really been an influx in upsetting trans whistleblowing going on
yes,
recently. I don't want to say it all stems from the Ava Chris Tyson thing, but I think it especially
definitely helped.
was that only last week, Ava Chris Tyson?
It was a couple weeks
It
ago.
was a couple weeks ago. Okay. I feel like since then there's been so much just on Twitter especially, so much fucking bullshit being spread about trans stuff that's like not even correct. Because something I was going to talk about too was I'm not sure if you saw the whole Charlie Voice Critical and Sneeko
Yeah,
situation. That was another thing where I don't know the exact details of that, but like Sneeko basically got him into a a debate like spur of the moment, and Charlie didn't know he was going into a debate, and he's not a debater. And
no,
then Sneeko was asking him questions about kids transitioning and stuff like that, and obviously just coming from a pedophile, fucking Sneeko.
yeah, right.
Um,
Haven't we done this dance before? Like, what the fuck?
yeah,
There's a whole Meat Canyon cartoon about Charlie and Sneeko. Why are we doing this again?
right. And like genuinely, Sneeko was saying so many. I mean, I watched Charlie's video on this, so I mean, of course, it kind of comes from a biased perspective a little bit, but like also, I mean, Sneeko was saying some abhorrent shit in the other part of that argument, but apparently the stuff of Charlie saying that yeah, it's okay for kids to start transitioning when they are kids was the only thing that people heard from that, and they assumed oh they're getting their dicks chopped off at 12 and stuff like that when like that's not what starting transitioning means in any capacity.
Oh,
But like I heard that was a really big spur, and I just oh man, dude, I talked about how much the Ava Chris Tyson shit like depressed me and all that
yeah.
because I've talked about this before on the pod, I believe, but I have a really good friend who's trans, and I don't mean to pull that as like a trans friend card or something like that, but like I've seen her go through her transition and seen how much more she's become herself and how much happier she is in life, and like when I just see her and like when she talks about her friends, and I've even met one of her friends pretty well recently, like they're just people living their lives like literally,
Yeah.
and it's a small minority of people, and for some reason it's causing all this fucking outrage right now, and it's just it upsets me. I don't know, I don't, it depresses me talking about it.
Yeah.
um,
It, it's the fucking worst. I have a trans sibling, and just
yeah,
like
that too, yeah.
watching them, start looking into transitioning medically and like just becoming more of themselves, than they have been after seeing them in like a dark, deep, like an upsetting place for a couple of years back in the beginning of the decade. Like
Yeah,
it's fucking, it's great to see them becoming happy again and
yeah,
seeing them become who they want to be. And these people who just can't let others live the life they want to live is so fucking upsetting and just wrong. It's if you're transphobic, you're weird. You're a fucking weirdo. Get
yeah.
a fucking life.
I do think, and my friend has stated this opinion before too, that I think it really does take them seeing someone in their life, or at least just knowing a trans person in general, it really takes that, I think, to convince people otherwise. Because I mean, I even back in like, when did we graduate? 2019. I think
Yeah.
2019. We had like this rhetoric class, and we talked a lot about social issues and a lot about real world issues that were going on. And one of them was about identity and LGBTQ plus, as well as, well, I was about to say as well as trans, but that's included in the T. But um, but talking about that stuff, and like I wrote a paper on trans stuff and like kids transitioning and stuff like that. That was completely misinformed because I was a high schooler, and I
Yeah.
feel like the trans movement stuff really did kind of start more 2020-ish. That's
Yeah.
like when it really started becoming, I was about to say mainstream, but like more like accepted, more in the limelight of like
Yeah.
how these things happen, what's going on, what's the process, and all that. Um, and like, if I were to read that paper, I'd probably be a little disgusted at some of the things that I said back then.
Yeah.
But like, really, just I, sorry, my main point of bringing this up again was that I think it takes people to just know a trans person as a person. It's not this like,
Yeah.
they're not like these enemies that are, I don't even know what to describe them as, sins of God. Like I
Right.
don't know how a
They're not
conservative
like
sees them.
fucking abominations. They're not
Right.
inhuman. They're fucking just like every one of us.
And they're not like telling children to I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for, like mutilate their bodies. Like that's not what's
Yeah,
happening
no,
at
they're not
all.
indoctrinating children. They're not trying to make them become trans. That's not
Yeah.
what the goal is. It's educating yourself is not fucking hard.
Yeah.
It's really not. But people just choose to discriminate and be disgusting towards fucking other human beings who are just trying to live their goddamn lives. And it's disgusting.
Yeah.
I I will never understand how this day and age in fucking 2024 people are so goddamn backwards in the way they think about how other people want to live their lives.
Yeah.
They're not hurting anybody. They're just being who they are.
Yeah.
And
And
it's that fucking
oh,
simple.
and obviously what Logan Paul was saying was fucking completely uninformed and whatever. I do want to just say, for me personally, I don't exactly know how the stuff works with trans people in sports, because that is one of the only things that I'm like, I don't I don't exactly know how to deal with that, because there really is, innate differences between biological men and biological women, not to use their terminology. But like, I don't exactly know how that works in the sports world, just because I'm not really into sports like that. But I just wanted to say that part, but also fuck Logan Paul for being a
Yeah,
weirdo
seriously.
and just completely putting fuel onto a fire and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a fucking moron. He's always been a fucking moron. He was honestly looking at, I was, you know, he was looking up, it was cool to see his kind of like redemption of sorts as he like got into wrestling and he was cool and everything. He played an asshole, but of course he did. He's Logan Paul.
Right.
Uh, but obviously he hasn't fucking changed even a little bit. And it's just, fucking gross. He's a disgusting human being. And I hope that somebody in the WWE locker room beats the shit out of him. I hope it happens.
Yeah.
Because there's a wrestler. He's my favorite wrestler. He goes by CM Punk. He's from Chicago.
Mm.
He's very trans rights, and he has a history of beating the shit out of people in the locker room who are assholes. And I hope that
That's
happens.
that's very progressive for the WWE. I would not have expected someone to be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's very very liberal and very cool. And he speaks out for a lot of people. He's a cool dude. There's a lot of wrestlers nowadays who are very, you know, supportive and cool, and he's one of them. But obviously, there's still a lot of fucking idiots in that world.
Yeah.
So, uh, it was just gross to see.
Yeah.
But anyways, trans rights.
Yep.
We love the trans community,
Yes, we do.
obviously. But in other news, Dr. Disrespect came back to the internet this week.
Yes. Sorry.
I don't know if you saw any of this because you're off of Twitter,
No, I
but
haven't.
yeah, Dr. Disrespect posted something. It was a picture of him on one side with chess pieces on a chessboard, and the camera was at an angle looking up at him, crossing his hands, and the side the camera was on had checkers. So the whole I'm playing chess, you're playing checkers thing.
Yeah.
But people were absolutely dunking on him because the camera angle was low, and people were like, "So you're playing with a child who doesn't know how to play chess and playing checkers?" Just I don't know what the fuck he was thinking. It's not like he's coming back from a fucking misinformation, anything. He messaged a minor on Twitch.
Yeah.
He's not. He has no redemption. There's nothing to redeem. He's a fucking disgusting, maybe pedophile.
Yeah.
So it's been very funny to see people dunk on him, of course, as well.
Yeah.
But another gross idiot online.
Mm-hmm.
But some good stuff, some bad stuff in the world this week,
Yeah.
as there is every week. But
I do have one other piece of world news.
Yeah.
HiveMind uploaded a tour video for for the Live Mind tour that they did, and Chicago, the entire section, they didn't vlog anything during it, which was a little sad. I was kind of waiting to see some stuff there, but there was a little note from Riley saying like we didn't vlog anything because we were there for less than 24 hours, but we were Riley's favorite show of the tour, so.
Hell yeah.
You know what? We take what we can.
I'll take it.
I was hoping to be in a Hive Mind video there for a second, but you know what? It's okay.
maybe someday.
Maybe one day. Hive Mind, open invitation. Come on the show.
We love you. We'd love to be in a bits bracket or something.
I'll be in a green wall TikTok. I don't care.
Yeah, seriously.
But
we love you.
That's pretty much all the news stuff that I have.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
I think I saw there was like something going on with Mr. Beast, like non-transphobic related, like in terms of him kind of stretching the reality of his videos more than we may think and stuff like that, and just I don't know. I kind of felt indifferent on whatever was going on there. I'm like, the content's still entertaining. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I didn't get into it too much. What's up?
There was also fucking Comic-Con news, Marvel news, Comic-Con.
Oh yeah.
They showed some cool stuff for the Fantastic Four movie with Pedro Pascal and Joseph Quinn and such, and that looks promising. Very cool. Michael Giacchino's doing the soundtrack. Gonna be a fucking banger.
Probably. He does really good Marvel soundtracks for sure.
Oh yeah, he did The Incredibles as well, and fucking banger. Also the Batman, Robert Pattinson Batman was one of my favorite movie soundtracks. So
yeah. I thought you were saying something about that got announced, but still,
no,
yes.
no.
Very, very good theme. Yeah.
Yes. And then they talked about the upcoming Avengers movies. Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday is coming out in 2026, and then Secret Wars is coming out in 2027. The Russo brothers, who did Endgame, Infinity War, Civil War, they're coming back, so hopefully those will be good.
Yeah, and Community. Just want to make sure you get all of them in there.
Community.
Yeah.
That's
good.
So
that's good that they're coming back.
Yeah. Yes, it should be good. They did a great job with those two. So I'm very excited for those. And then also one of the biggest villains and characters in Marvel, Doctor Doom, hence Doomsday, is coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And who's playing him? None other than Robert Downey Jr.,
Yeah.
who was Iron Man, for those who might not know.
Oh, right. Sorry.
Yeah, yes. I love you 3000.
Mhm.
He died. Spoilers.
I saw someone say that he's turning into I hate you 3000 now.
Yeah, I saw a lot of positives and a lot of negatives that came out of that news,
Yeah.
and
I'll be
you
honest,
know,
I'm a little on the negative side. I don't know how I feel about that.
yeah, and I could see it going either way, honestly. But one of the most like one of the arguments that on the positive that like made me go, yeah, yeah, was somebody was like, uh, this whole multiverse thing is that's what the multiverse is, and then when Marvel does the most multiverse thing, you get upset, and it's like,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it would have been cool to see a different actor. I saw a lot of people going like, "Ooh, Cillian Murphy." I saw people going, "Ooh, um, other people," but
Yeah.
uh, you know, but I think that it'll be a cool storytelling device to see, like, I don't know, Peter Parker seeing this version of Doctor Doom having the face of his father figure and how that'll affect him and all of his friends and shit like that. I think it'll be cool. I think
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. is great in the Marvel universe, and if he pulls it off and it's good, then I think it'll be, you know, a really good breath of fresh air into the MCU.
Yeah.
It could also be really bad, but I saw a lot of people getting upset that they didn't cast like a Roma. I don't know. There's a lot of whitewashing of like characters within the MCU that
Hmm.
are meant to be from countries in specific, and they made him Robert Downey Jr. and people are upset that they didn't cast an actor who came from the place that Doctor Doom in the comics came from.
Oh,
But uh, that's probably that's not likely to happen anyway.
yeah, depending on where. But yeah.
Yeah, but it was just I could see both sides, but I'm excited. I think it'll be cool.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, I again, I mean, I know you know this, but for audience members who may not, I'm not like super into Marvel stuff. Like I kind of follow along, but I don't like get super into the nitty gritty of the fan base and all that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
just from an outsider perspective, as kind of a casual, I think I can fairly say I'm a casual.
yeah,
Um, I think Robert Downey Jr. is gonna do really good. He's gonna do really good because he's just a fantastic actor. I don't know. I think just it does feel a little
cheap.
weird, cheap. Yes, cheap, and also like kind of because I mean, like Deadpool was saying all throughout the new movie, we know Marvel's not in the greatest place right now, and it kind of does
Right.
feel a little bit like there's a term for that, like some kind of call. I'm forgetting what that term is, but
Uh,
just like a call out that's just like hey, we got Robert Downey Jr. back. When like he once again spoiler alert, he left the MCU in a very very good manner. Like
yeah,
and he was kind of the whole point of like I don't want to say the whole point of it, but like the whole payoff to Endgame was his moment at the end there and his story kind of wrapping up the first was it the first phase of Marvel or like the first couple phases? I don't exactly know that part.
it's the first five. I think it was the first
Yeah,
five phases.
but the first big chunk of it, right? Like
Yeah,
that was his moment, and I feel like
yeah,
even though that's still the character's moment, I don't know. It feels slightly just weird having him come back for that. But I
for
can
sure.
also
Yeah,
see what you're saying with some of your other things as well. But
yeah. I
yeah,
don't see this version of Doom being the overall version of Doom that's going to be around the entire time. I feel like this version of Doctor Doom might be around for those two Avengers movies, and then a different actor, like a bigger, more menacing version of Doctor Doom, comes along and takes out the Robert Downey Jr. version or something, and then that's the version of Doom that we get for the rest of however long he's in the movies.
Yeah.
But I think that this is, yes, a cheap way of getting people back in Marvel seats and more money for the franchise, but also just a cool storytelling gimmick
Yeah.
that could really pay off. But, we'll see. It'll be
We will.
cool.
Also,
So, guys,
oh, sorry.
yep.
I was just gonna ask a curiosity question because I know. See, well, this is gonna show my knowledge a little bit. I know Doctor Doom. He was like in the first Fantastic Four movie, a long
Yes.
time ago. Is that where he's showing up, or is Doomsday Avengers like? Is that where he was announced for?
That he was announced for Avengers Doomsday.
Okay, gotcha. I only connected him with like the character with the Fantastic Four
Yeah.
before this point, but
He is generally a Fantastic Four villain, but he is in the comics more like an overall villain of the Marvel universe.
gotcha.
Like he's one of like the bigger, more menacing characters within like the villains of the Marvel universe. So he's got like a big part to play.
Cool.
And that he does the whole thing with the next Avengers movie after Doomsday with Secret Wars. It's a whole like multiversal battle between different versions of every character fighting each other to the death and that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be cool to see as well, I think. But still got a couple years for either of those to come out, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Cool.
But we could also talk about the stuff we listened to this month. Kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, I had it in the back of my mind still, but yeah, I don't have anything else to talk about if you want to transition. Cool. I have 9. I have 9 things. I'm guessing is that a little bit more than you?
Yeah, it will be. Here I have 1, 2, 3. Actually, going to Spotify would probably be a smarter idea for me here.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7.
7. Okay. Actually, I think that'll work out pretty nice then if I start and then cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, yeah, so we're gonna go through some of the albums we listened to throughout the last month of July. Yeah. All right. First thing I listened to, honestly, I don't have too much to say, and I still need to give another listen. It was "Bad Cameo" by James Blake and Lil Yachty. I've been meaning to recheck this one out at a time when it's like a late night vibes because that's really what the album feels like.
Yeah.
And I have not yet, and I might do it tonight. Honestly, just kind of relax after a long marching week. But I remembered it was good. It was fine. Like it didn't like blow my mind or anything, but it was all right. um, that's all I gotta say.
Cool. First thing, Joji was July, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. First thing was Joji's discography, In Tongues and Ballads 1. And if you want to hear in-depth thoughts about that, you can go to the Joji episode. But what I will say is I haven't returned, and I probably won't. But it was about what I expected. Not like the best, not the worst, but his better stuff was definitely in the last couple projects that we listened to. They were good. I had a good time. I like Joji, and his I like his vibe. But if you want more thoughts, you can go listen to that episode. And I gave him overall as an artist rating.
You say that again. I didn't really come through.
I gave him a strong 6 overall. And some of my favorite songs were "Glimpse of Us," "Die for You," "Slow Dancing in the Dark," "Run," and yeah. But that was Joji.
Cool. Yeah. Next thing for me too. I have them separately, but I can talk about them together. I had Joji's In Tongues and Joji's Ballad Ones as new albums for me. In Tongues, I wasn't really huge on. I thought it was a little too stripped back for me. Not really. I don't know. It didn't really stimulate me too much. It was okay. Well, not really. I have it in the red. But it was fine, I guess. But whatever. I'm just saying words. Sorry, brain's a little fried today. But Joji Ballad's one that it surprised me a little bit. I liked it a little bit more. I really liked the first half of this album. I remember, and some of the ones that I liked off there were Slow Dancing in the Dark.
Mhm.
Yeah, right. I enjoyed quite a bit. Why am I still in LA and can't get over you? And yeah, I gave In Tongues a strong 4, and I gave Ballads 1 a light 6. I think overall for Joji, even though I've listened to the other two albums before, I think I gave him like a light 6 or something, or like decent 6 or something like that too. Um,
Something like that.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, cool. Next thing I listened to was Illmatic by Nas. I haven't returned to it since I listened to it, but it was pretty good. Um, I, I I remember liking the storytelling and the flow. The production was really good. Um, Nas, I mean, this is a classic album that everyone deems as a like must listen. I think so. Um, and yeah, I can get down with that sickness.
Ooh, ah, ah,
I,
ah.
I I enjoyed a good bit of it. Again, I'll have to return to it again, but I really enjoyed New York State of Mind, which I had as a song of the week. Um, like One Time for Your Mind on there was also good, and It Ain't Hard to Tell, which is the closer. Were all good. I'd probably give it like a as off of just first listen and not having any other experience with it. I'd probably give it like a strong 7 to a light 8. But it could change. It could grow.
Okay,
Um, yeah, good album.
cool. And jumping right off of Nas's Illmatic, I listened to JoJo Siwa's Guilty Pleasure. Um, it was an
Classic.
EP, yeah, instant classic, gay pop classic. Yeah, it's a short little 5-song EP, and out of morbid curiosity, I went into it, and surprise, not very good. I think
What?
I think Karma was one of the better songs on there, and that's saying something if you've heard the clips of Karma. Yeah, the production's extremely overblown, her vocals extremely processed and just not that great. And the attitude is really, really bad all throughout. And I'm just seeing now, as I'm looking at album of the year, the first writer credited on the album is Megan Trainor, which
Ooh.
I think that explains a couple things. um, but
Fuck teachers, right?
yeah, exactly. But yeah, not very good. I don't have any highlights, and I gave it a decent 1.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Uh, yeah. Next thing I listened to was Childish Gambino's last album, Bando Stone in the New World. Um, this one being a longer album, I haven't returned to it since I listened to it yet, but I plan to. But my thoughts haven't changed too much on it. It's still pretty mid in my opinion. Nowhere near as good in my opinion as Awaken My Love, which is like the only other Gambino album that I have experience with really.
That's right. Yeah.
Um, but I there are songs to enjoy on here between the bad stuff that I didn't super love, but I still really like Lithonia. Steps Beach is good. Yoshinoya um, and Advocate are ones that I remember liking. But it wasn't super. Um, it didn't meet my expectations as much as I was hoping it would. There were a good amount of songs where I was like, "Oh, not my favorite," but I'm glad some people are enjoying it more than I do. Um, but yeah, right now, off of only one listen, I'd probably give it like a decent light 7.
Okay. Cool.
Mhm.
Next thing I listened to was Eminem's "The Death of Slim Shady," in parentheses "Coup de Grace." I don't know if
Mhm.
"coup" is how you
Coup
pronounce
de
that.
grace.
"Coup de Grace." Thank you. French expert over here. He's watching the Olympics.
Yes.
I can tell.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
yeah, I hope you guys don't cancel me for this opinion, but it's it. I don't know. It's he's playing a character, and like it's kind of the whole point of the album is that this character would be canceled nowadays and all that kind of stuff, and maybe his mindset wasn't good in the first place, but at the same time you're just spewing all this bullshit that people aren't going to be getting, and like the context of that, and you're just it's kind of hard to also tell where it starts and where the line starts and where the line stops. Like there's a whole track on here. I don't remember if it's for the entire track, but for a good chunk of it, it's called Road Rage, where he's just like going after fat people for some reason, like just like
Oh,
extremely, just like I don't know, like it's so over the top that I don't think it's like an actual opinion, but it's just like why would I want to listen to this? Like it's just so I
right.
don't know, it's so weird. And I think that's just the main point of my issues with this album. It's just like, why would I want to listen to this kind of stuff from a 50-year-old
Yeah.
man in 2024? So I think that's the best way to put it. There was some okay moments. "Fuel" is a song that has Jid on it, and
Mhm.
Jid carries hard. And Eminem does okay on it, I guess. And there's another song called "Guilty Conscious 2," which is like him, spoiler alert, killing off Slim Shady, and like I guess there's some interesting stuff going on in that one that I thought was kind of okay too, but I don't know.
Mhm.
It's bad, and then it just becomes boring in the second half of it. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I gave it like kind of light to decent 4. It's not great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, awesome. And the next thing I listened to was Future Nostalgia by Dua Lipa.
Hmm.
Heard, over the years, I've heard lots of good things about this album. I remember when I got on TikTok for the first time, a lot of the songs on this album, at least the big ones, were very big on TikTok. A lot of dances and such to these songs, and it was pretty good. It wasn't like mind blowing or anything, but it's good pop. Dua Lipa's got a good voice. There's some cool production on it. Um, but it didn't all connect with me. There were a couple songs I was like, not really the best here. There was a song called "Good in Bed," which was kind of just not great.
Hmm.
But the big ones like "Levitating," "Break My Heart," and like "Don't Start Now" were good. I like the opener. I had that as the song of the week last week.
Hmm.
And yeah, it was pretty okay. Nothing like mind blowing in my opinion, but it was a fun time on the drive back down here from spending the week at home. Um, I'd probably give it like a strong to solid 6. Not super awful, but not the best thing I've listened to.
Yeah. Cool. Next thing I listened to was "Charm" by Clairo. First Clairo album for me, but I really liked the production on this in particular. It has very old timey sounds, but not done in like a weird cash grab type of way, I guess. Like it sounds very much like I feel like 70s sound right to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of has like a 70s feel to it a little bit. I really love the little woodwind bits in here. I love the really old synths that they use, and her whisper style vocals work really well over it the whole time too. It's just a really really nice listen. It doesn't like super stand out to me, but at the same time it's like all just super quality and just a really solid listen throughout. Some of my favorites on it are "Sexy to Someone," "Slow Dance" I remember liking a lot too, and also "Juna." I think those three are very very good. Oh yeah, and one thing is that it actually is a really well flowing album too. Like the songs transition into each other like really really smoothly. So it's just a really good listen. That's the best way I can put it. So I have it at a light 8 for that reason.
Yeah. Next thing I listened to was also "Charmed" by Claro. I really love the vibe of this thing. I think once we move into fall here soon, I think that'll be a
Yeah.
great great time. But the first four songs on this album, really, really good. I like the way they flow into each other. I like how they kind of start this thing off. Nomad and Sexy to Someone are some of my favorites on here, as well as Juna, as you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
But Slow Dance was also good. I love the vocals. I love a lot of the lyrics and the production. I'm a big sucker for old style production on modern music, as I've stated many times on this podcast, and
Mm.
I would probably will many times more. But I love that shtick, and I hope it sticks around for a lot longer because it's just fun. Um, it's really cool to see people playing around with that, and I think Claire does a good job. But um, I could see this one being pretty up there on my end of year list. But for now, I have it at like a decent, solid 8.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, and the next thing I listened to, Childish Gambino, Band of Stone in the New World. I have very similar thoughts to Colin. I think it has good moments, but it's an extremely mixed bag. I think I even said this on the episode when we first listened to it, and I have it in my review too. But it sums up how I feel about it pretty well. There's a lot being thrown at the wall, but I feel like 40% of it was sticking for me. Like it's
Yeah,
just it's intentionally a really messy album. It's very Kanye in that way, which Childish Gambino likes Kanye a lot, so it makes sense. But like I don't know, there's a lot of like just cringy stuff on here. I think the production isn't great at points, also, and just some of the vocal manipulations are really annoying, and just I feel like he didn't do too well over a lot of the beats too. It just I don't know. There are some great moments, like No Excuses. I like a lot. I believe that's the 7 minute track that Ludwig Göransson is also credited for. Um,
yeah,
I like that one a lot. I do like Lithonia. I don't love it as much as a lot of people do, but it's good. Yoshinoya, I do like that one quite a bit as well too. He kind of talks his shit apparently about Drake. I don't
yeah.
know.
I about that.
Yeah, I don't know much about that backstory, but the song sounds good. It's kind of like the only part where he actually sounds like he's writing a beat very well for me.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, really messy, but like there's good stuff, but it's long and I don't think it's worth it, and I think it's kind of one of the most overrated albums of the year so far. I have it at a light 6. Um,
whoa,
yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
cool. That's all right.
Yep.
Uh, and okay, next one I listened to was "Smile" by Porter Robinson.
Yeah. Interested to hear this.
Um, yeah, I enjoyed this one a lot more. Well, I won't say a lot more than I expected to, but I did enjoy it a good bit. I was playing Restaurant Tycoon on Fortnite when I listened to this one, and
Nice.
and
I
you
honestly, I
know,
think that's really fitting for Porter Robinson's music. That's really fitting.
yeah, I think I was playing that and also like Fortnite parkour, and it was it. I really liked the vibes of it. I think Porter Robinson has a great voice. I liked the production on it a lot. Like the blippy bloopy fucking synths and such on this album are really fun. I think the vibe of it is super good. I also like the nice, like slower, more tender
Yeah.
kind of moments on here as well. I think a lot of it fits the album cover quite a bit of like the fucking foil balloon with the nice little face on it. But I liked it a lot. I'll have to return to it more. But I did have a really good time with it. And some of my favorites on here were "Knock Yourself Out," "Cheerleader," "Year of the Cup" was interesting. At first, I wasn't super big on it, but it grew on me. And "Easier to Love You" I really liked.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was a good album. And for now, I'll give it like a light to decent 8.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Next thing I listened to, almost at the end here, folks, by the way. But next thing I listened to was King of the Mischievous South, Volume 2 by Denzel Curry. Um, and I was just listening to this one again today, but I think this is really good. It's a really solid project. I believe it's all Atlanta artists. I think that's where Denzel Curry is from. Um,
Mm.
I think. At least the mischievous South, wherever that is. But
Um,
yeah, big posse cut album, pretty much. But like the production is super good throughout. The energy is high, pretty much all throughout too. It's got some kind of like it starts off like really cloudy a bit, like kind of like I don't know if stoner rap is the way to put it, but like I don't know, like it starts off kind of lo-fi, but then like in the middle of it, it gets like really, Denzel Curry intense ish, and like
yeah.
that's where I really like love a lot of tracks in here. Some of my favorites on here are G's Up and Sked. Sked. Every time I've listened to it, the bass like is so good on there. It's like some of the best distorted bass I feel like I've ever heard. um, but yeah, there's good stuff on it. I'm still kind of listening to it, but I have it at a strong 7 right now, and I think for the most part I still agree with that. So yeah, it's a good one. Should check it out.
Cool.
Cool.
And the last thing I listened to was Saviors by Green Day. Took me a while to get to this one. It came out in the very beginning of the year in January.
Oh,
Um,
January. Damn. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, it's not like mind blowing or anything, but it is a lot fucking better than Father of All. I will say that.
Agreed.
It it's kind of a return to form for Green Day. It's not if you like a lot of their music, you're not going to get anything super different here, but that's okay. It's kind of like Cage the Elephant in a way where it's like they make a certain type of music and they're pretty good at it throughout their discography. There are low points, of course, but
Hmm.
this one is much better than that. I had a good time with it. Could have been a little shorter, I think,
Yeah.
but there were some good cuts on here. The American Dream is Killing Me is very, you know, you cut from the same cloth as a lot of the stuff they make, but it has a good vibe to it. Bobby Socks, I like. I think I like Dilemma and Susie Chapstick. I remember liking living in the 20s was good as well. Lots good stuff about life today and the world and certain parts of it that aren't the best. But I like Green Day. I like their messages. And yeah, I'll probably listen to it a couple more times. But I'm glad it's better than Father of All.
No.
And I'd probably give it like a strong 6, light
Okay.
7, maybe.
Cool. I'm
Yeah.
glad. I'm glad you liked. I mean, I don't really remember it too much, but I do remember. 'Cause I went to check my review. Susie Chapstick was my favorite song on here, and I remember seeing like it wasn't. It was kind of like in the middle of the pact, to the lower end on a lot of the scores on Album of the Year. So I'm glad you like that one too.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that was just a nice song. I don't remember what it was though.
There,
um,
there, there, there were cool moments on his album where Billy Joe kind of went for a fucking like more screamy kind of
yeah,
vocal style. I thought that was cool. I thought he did a good job with it. His voice is getting a little old and raspy, so it added a nice vibe, nice cool like feeling to that. But yeah,
yeah,
I liked it.
yeah. No, there were definitely good songs on that album. Yeah. And yeah, last thing I listened to was Porter Robinson's Smile. And yeah, I really like this album. I've been listening to a lot on and off. I think it starts a little stronger than it ends. Because like the first like I don't know, first three definitely Knock Yourself Out, Cheerleader, Russian Roulette, really really good songs. If I remember, I liked Kitsune Mason Freestyle a lot as well. And then Is There Really No Happiness, I think is really good too. There's just a lot of really good melodies on here, like just earworms all throughout. And that's probably my favorite thing about it. It's fun. It's a little aggressive, I guess, in terms of like the mixing and stuff, but like it's just a really fun, pretty feel good album, I would say, for the most part. And
Yeah,
yeah, it's just really nice. And I like the direction he takes on it. And yeah, I mean those are some of my favorites I listed before, and I would also give it a decent 8. Um, and
cool.
also, I forgot to mention after you said your thing, but if you liked the more tender moments on here, I think you definitely should check out Nurture. Um,
Yeah, I'll definitely have to do that.
yeah, Nurture with like good pair of headphones, just vibing out for 58 minutes. It's really good.
Yeah, I
it's
might
a,
do that this week.
it's
That
a
sounds
nice
good.
it's a nice feel good album.
Yeah,
Um,
when I posted about the pod coming up on Monday, my coworker swiped up when I said that we talked about Porter Robinson
mm.
on there, and he was like, "Hell yeah, Porter Robinson! I'm glad you guys are talking about that." I'm like, "Well, I didn't listen to it yet, but
Mike
my friend
did.
he liked it."
Yeah, yeah,
I told him I'd let him know, and then he came into work today. I was like, "It was good." He was like, "Hell yeah!"
yeah. Yeah, it's you can get some of the internet people with Porter Robinson because even like my friends who don't really like keep up with music stuff, they like my neighbors, they I mentioned Porter Robinson's name. They're like, oh wait, actually you guys know about him too. The music community likes him as well as the terminally online community a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, um, yeah, but cool. All right, well, do you have anything else to add? We could wrap up by now.
No, I'm all good to wrap up if you
All
are.
right, cool. Well, wrap up as in now we got song of the week, of course. And then we got a wheel, of course. All right.
Yeah.
But you were up for song of the week first, so.
All right. Well, I know you did pick a Porter Robinson song last week, but I did like that album a lot. Um, and yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Russian Roulette by Porter
Ooh.
Robinson.
All right.
All right, that was Russian Roulette by Porter Robinson. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah. I really love that song. Like I said, that was in one of my favorites on the album too. One thing I forgot to mention in my little spiel on the album is how much I love how lyrically the song is so unapologetically like himself. Like he just has his character all throughout this album. Um, like I mean, this song is all about overcoming the feelings of suicide, pretty much overcoming that, and then also simultaneously has the lyrics YouTube review funny monkey takes a piss into his own mouth crazy. And like it's so unapologetically himself, and I love that about it. But yeah, the song's great. I love how it grows. I love how it progresses throughout. It's awesome.
Yeah, I really love the message and the story, and the chorus is really good. And also the when I was listening to it, I wasn't expecting like the fucking text to speech voice at the end, so it kind
Yeah,
of caught me by surprise. And yeah, I mean, I agree with the last thing he says with "Don't kill yourself, you idiot."
exactly.
Uh, so yeah, really good song, really fun. And sorry, I forgot that was a longer one, but
Oh no, it's fine with me. I mean,
all right,
I'm a late night person, so
that's
um,
true.
it's only detrimenting yourself.
True.
um, uh, cool. Oh, for me, I didn't really listen to anything this week, like I said, but I did have one thing put on hold for the next time I needed something, and that
Right.
song was a track that came out a couple weeks ago, and it is called "Satellite Business 2.0" by Sampha and Little Sims. All right, that was Satellite Business 2.0 by Sampha and Little Sims. What did you think of that, Colin?
Immaculate vibes on that track, Michael.
Yeah.
Just just two amazing underrated artists. I feel. I think I haven't listened to a lot of Samva,
Me
but
neither. Yeah.
I've heard has been beautiful. He's got a great voice. I love the production across this song. I think that Little Sims is fantastic, and she always is. And yeah, I really liked their vibe together, and I would love more of that. But really cool, really good track. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I love I'll be honest, I love that track I guess a little more for the production than the song itself, but it is produced so well. It is so good. The
Oh yeah.
bass is bumping. It's so spacey. I love the little synth that almost sounds like it comes from a Minecraft song. I've been meaning to figure out which song that sounds like every time it comes in. But it's great, and Sims is great. I really love those vocal harmonies towards the end of it too. They're just they're so good. It's just like you can tell like every second of the song is just so much production juice put into it, like in a good way. It just all sounds blissful on the ears. really recommend good headphones with that one, for anyone listening. But yeah, just a really great track. Um,
Yes. Well,
Speaking of really great tracks, yeah,
ready to spin that wheel for our next artist analyses?
I am so ready to spin that wheel. Except you're the one doing it, but
Let me.
so
You want to
ours,
explain?
yep,
Yeah.
yep, artist analysis, a series that we do every 5 episodes on this here podcast, where we take a deep dive into an artist's discography, their album discography, and listen to all of them, give our thoughts on them one by one, in time, real time, and yeah, uh, I'm all good to spin that wheel. That's what we'll be doing next week with whoever
Uh,
we put in. Yeah.
let's spin that wheelie do.
Oh,
Gonna be. Ooh.
ooh, I like both of these. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Mr. JID himself.
Jitty JID. Okay, I've been meaning to check out a lot of these albums. I think, well, I say a lot. I'm pretty sure he has 4 albums. I'm gonna double check right now.
Yeah.
Um, but oh, never mind. He has 3, and one
Oh,
rumored to come out this year. It looks like. So, yep, we got the Never Story, DiCaprio 2, and the Forever Story. Um,
cool.
yeah, like I said earlier with the Eminem track, Jid, fantastic, and I've been meaning to listen to more of his stuff. So, here's the excuse.
Yeah. And we already know one of those albums is a certified banger. So,
Absolutely. Yeah,
well, I'm excited for that one. It'll be
me
good.
too. So, tune in next week for that. But before we get there, um, uh, it's the outro time. um,
Yes.
Audio listeners, love you to death. If you're on Spotify or on Apple Music or on any streaming service that I have not yet said, um, uh, you're great. We love you. You can come on over to YouTube though, if you're willing to take a little gander, a little trip, detour. We're under the same name, Broken Boys, capital MBOIS, and there you can find links to a whole bunch of stuff. That song of the week thing that we just did. Um, we do that every week, and we have a big playlist for all 179 episodes worth of new music recommendations. um,
Yes, we do.
we have 3 playlists actually. We got one for me, we got one for Colin, and we got one for both of us combined, along with all the guests that we have on the show regularly. And in those playlists, you can find Satellite Business 2.0 by Little Sims and Sampha, or you can find the Porter Robinson song that you just chose, which is called Russian Roulette. Um, uh, no reason I said it in that order. And this just goes to show that it's not biased that I forget the names of your songs. I literally just, my brain just can't remember what happened 10 minutes ago. Um,
It's
but
fine.
yeah, it's a problem with me and not you. But, um, yeah, you can find those in those playlists. Go check them out. Lots of good stuff in there. Over an hour or over a day's worth on the combined playlist, and almost 200 episodes worth too. So
That's
we're
very good.
we're getting there. We're getting there.
Sure.
Um, we also have links to some personal stuff down there. I've got my diary entries. No, I have. I do write music though that could maybe be seen as diary entries if you want, I guess. I don't know. Under the name Plaintive, I have an album out called Coping Mechanism. I got new music working on in the shop. Oh, I forgot to mention that during my week, but I did get some good work on that done during the weekend, like I said I would. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, in the shop working, hoping to, get some good edges on that. And really show you a polished product.
So excited. Go listen to Code Mechanism in the
Yep,
meantime, though. That
yep.
shit's good.
Catch up on your Plaintive lore. That shit is good, and I'm trying to make it gooder. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that is the goal. Um, and yeah, so go support that over on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever. I also have an album of the year page where I rate and review music. You can go check out all those albums we talk about. Have more in-depth thoughts on them. Well, some of them. Um, I do some funny reviews every now and then, but go check those out. Give me likes. That's how I live. And my Instagram's down there, along with my YouTube page and my TikTok page. And that's about it for me, except for my proximity,
Yeah.
which is uh, I mean, common trope of Broken Boys listeners. They're all part of marching band. So
Yeah.
therefore, I am in set right behind them, dressing down, splitting the 40 and the 45 on side two. And yep, I am 4 steps behind them. We're making a nice little line. Um,
Nice. What, is the band forming any sort of shape, or is it just
um,
an
uh,
inset?
you know what? You can think about that.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
sorry.
You're good.
And Colin over here, he runs our socials. He runs our Twitter page where he updates when videos are posted and whatnot. And he also posts on our TikTok page where he posts little funny clips of us saying little funny things every now and then. It's a good time over there. Future bracket may be involving some of those clips at some point. We'll get there.
Yes.
And so go catch up on your Broken Boys lore. Um, and Colin also has a few personal things. He has an album of the year page where he rates and reviews music. He's got a letterbox where he rates and reviews movies. I'm guessing Deadpool is up there.
Sure is. You can go check that out.
Yes, please do go check that out. I gave him a little follow over there on Letterboxd, so
Oh, really?
you should do that too.
I didn't even see that.
Is there like a notifications over there? I don't know. But and then also he has an Instagram review page, and yeah. What is your proximity to our dear, lovely, beautiful viewer?
Well, as you're down there behind the viewer, 4 steps
Mm-hmm.
on side two, um,
Between
something about the 45,
splitting the 40 and the 45, yeah.
splitting the 40 and 45. I'm going to take the position of our dear band director,
Oh.
and I'm going to be looking down and getting upset that you guys are a off. Little off. You're trying to make a star, and it's not really being a star.
Mm.
And I'm going to come down, and I'm going to have some words. But in this scenario, hugs are okay because we're all the same age and it's consensual.
Yes.
Uh,
This is not an age accurate depiction of marching band.
no, this is adult marching band
Yeah.
for adults, nerds.
College marching band, but yes, for nerds.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Uh, but we are. I'm going to come down. I'm going to explain that you guys, our viewer has to be just a little bit to their left. And once they're going to be, apologetic, but I'm going to say, it's okay. Come on, bring it in, bud. And I'm going to hug him from in front. And you can't be left out of a hug,
Of course
especially
not.
when you're standing right behind them. So it's like you're gonna join into, and it'll be a little bit of a shock that you joined in, but it's okay because we're all friends here,
Hmm.
and you're gonna hug them from behind. I'm gonna hug them from in front, and yeah, and then you know because you did such a good job and you made it to your spot, and you're doing such a you being such a good marching band boy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you a big old smooch on the lips, Mike.
Wow.
And it might escalate from there. It might escalate to a nice make
Mm-hmm.
that. Um, but yeah, and we would like to call this exercise a love cage.
Mm.
And if you would like your very own love cage, all you gotta do is drop your address in the comments below, and we will give you your very own. You won't know when, you won't know where, but we will find you, and you will get a love cage. So
And
drop
you
that ad.
will enjoy it.
Yes, you will.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, next week talk about Jid.
sure are.
Sorry, I'd said that like I had a transition to the end, but I didn't. So thank you all for joining. Good episode. Yeah. See you next week.
Yeah. Bye bye.